We were racing, we were erasing, we were making our past lives history. The roots of these stories are mysteries, but the branches now switches to misery. Undernourished leaves,
us thinking shade is victory. You know you're living your dreams when you can, forget your beginnings.
But the nightmares for one are just beginning. This is the story of unjust beginnings.
This is the story of how shade made me free,
but left him in captivity.
So let's see. This story starts with the mud on our feet. Skin tones indistinguishable from the rush of our legs on the grass, so you tell me, who of us is fast enough to outrun our time, or will we run out of time? These times multiplied by crimes in our ancestry. Because this time I'm running free while he's running back to shackled feet, and under stars and 13 stripes
we receive scars of 30 stripes.
But one walks away and one stays tied to a tree. This is the story of almost 300 years a slave, but not for me. This is the story of how shade made me free, but left him in slavery. So let's see.
Well, how did this start?
Oh yeah, me and my brother, we shared some scars. We shared the highs and lows, the blows and lies. Despised we rose, toes lying close to face the foes, only defined by the weapons they chose. We aligned our minds,
we drew the line, and bang!
Our 2 front feet rose, the race began, and from the gun our guts were gone, but our spines assembled, and we ran.
We ran.
And with mud on our feet, all you could see were 2 men who wanted to be free. But then the first mud fell. The muddy shell that protected our skin, or rather the shell that covered our shade. If it was mud that made us indistinguishably one, then it was our shade that would leave our oneness undone. Because when the dogs caught up, they were ironically colorblind. They saw black and white, and their bite marks read like Braille on the ankles of the one they then predicted would fail. And from there we read history in blood. 2 men guilty of the same crime. One, James Gregory, would receive 30 lashes and serve his time for 3 years of indentured servitude, but the other, John Punch, would receive 30 lashes and serve out his time for the remainder of his natural-born life. So I stand here in my shade like I'm safe from the heat. But don't mistake my whiteness for robes. No, that wasn't me. I'm the story of many men who came here just to be free, but I choose you can't buy new. My white skin stayed tied to my feet. So this skin that I'm in, the skin that you're in, this skin that we're in, is this our sin? No, the skin we're in, this is not our sin, but it's a crime if I don't look behind and realize the twisted history of men with my pigment creating a race that I'm rigged to win. I may not be the slave master, but if he masters my mind, call me the mastermind of my master's crime. All feelings of guilt beside, living in ignorance is genocide. Each step I take away from his side is freedom for me, but captivity for him. And so it's with pain that I admit my sin. One that I managed to hide from many generations. My legs kept moving, and they keep moving, and I didn't look back, and I'm still not. Grass now cleaning the mud from my legs, salient white spots like light beams they came, like bandages from my name, like blank canvas over my past as a slave, so that I can paint myself in new colors. And I can have children who wear their school colors, and I can have fathers who come home to mothers because they were slaves. And that was being white, not seeing the light of truth, because I'm running to my shade. We were racing, we were erasing, we were making our past lives history. The roots of these stories are mysteries,
but the branches now switches to misery. Undernourished leaves,
us thinking shade is victory. You know you're living your dreams when you can, forget your beginnings.
But the nightmares for one are just beginning. This is the story of unjust beginnings. The story of his winning, his story with fixed endings. The myth of merit depicts the sheriff as just and fair. Fair paid by the ones of darker shade, yet we were all maids, well, maids in a sense while we were made in a sense while they made more sense with that, made more sense of what's the truth worth. Or we traced the fingerprints of John's punch that we all have drunk, bumped that it's a setup, it was spike. I said our country couldn't walk a straight line, I was told to take a hike. Look in the history, it's crooked, look in the book, it's took and cooked and served to only one group. But I helped build this stove too. Shoot, truth be told, I probably built this stove in to sink in this fridge and probably even this light bulb, but I digress. I mean, we're dying for progress, but I get it. This is not checkers, it's chess. Mixed with American roulette with no bulletproof vest and the government's aiming for my chest. Then I bet the glove won't fit, but that's just a guess. But I'd rather be insulin than insolent and sugar-coated, even if I got a dime to beat easy. Wait, I said I'd rather be insulin than insolent and sugar-coated, even if I got a diabetes. See, we was into slavery together, indentured, and we ventured to escape these conditions. Allowed to cook, but not to eat in the kitchen of the son of perdition. Hell's fire, we dodged fury. They couldn't secure, we made it out together. Then the sudden change of weather, whether man gave us up or what, I don't know, but the whip came down and hard on the brown. But I felt bruised, but you got bruised. But something left me confused, that I must muse, something skewed. I got screwed. How did you, who did the same crime as me, get a different time than me? They gave you just a few more days and told me I gotta be a slave to my grave. Yo, what's up with the shade? Are we racing? Are you racist?
Well, let me say this. Can we make our past lives history? I thought it was my dream to forget our beginnings, but my shade has left me spinning. America, it seems, is not destined for a happy ending.
But I'd rather dream of a future worth penning. Paper making from the roots of the mystery. Now I'm making paper from the truth of my story.
And with our stories inscribed on the paper, we stack up stories of the stories of skyscrapers. If we write enough, the sky might feel high enough to replace the skyline. Cityscapes of yoked and broken spines of slaves who had lives. Paper after paper would peel back the bark from the branches, and through the shade we might see a glory.
There would be a glory. We seek to find a light in this shade. For hundreds of years, this game has been played. Disrespect displayed. The darkness of that and this is foolish. The darkness has been your place of coolness. These trees that you believe to be your relief has only been shading you from this heat that apparently you can't handle. But this is for the ones that are in the panhandle, still drowning from disbelief. Taking substance from leaves that are undernourished shall only lead to the fall. So my advice to us all is no more hiding. Wake up and see the world for what it truly is, broken. Now how can we help to fix? It's only right that we learn from history.
It's only right that we learn from his story.
It's when we write that we learn from history.